Hey guys, today I'm doing a restaurant review of the Yummy House Chinese restaurant on Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. Now I'm going to make this short and sweet. I'm going to get to the point. I'm only going to review the food because that's the important thing. And I'm going to review it from my point of view. I'm a chef, I know good food, and I know good Chinese food. Alright, now this is how I rate food. It's very simple. I rate it from 1 to 5, 1 being bad, 2 is just okay, 3 is pretty good, 4 is very good, and 5 is perfect. But keep in mind, it is very, very rare that I would ever give food a 5. So I'm comparing these to restaurants that I know have perfect 5 out of 5 Chinese food. Both of them happen to be in Toronto, Canada. So I'm comparing this to places like Congee Queen and House of Gourmet, which I know serve perfect Chinese food. All right, now the first dish we got was the salt and pepper calamari, which I always get for an appetizer. It looked very nice. I really like those crunchy little Szechuan peppercorns in the bottom with the green onions and a little bit of shallots. That gave it a great base flavor. The actual squid itself tasted very good. It was well seasoned. It was well fried. It wasn't overly oily. The only thing I'm going to say about it that I didn't like was that normally for a dish like this, they use like regular squid tubes and they score them and then they fry them. But for this dish, they used slices of jumbo squid, which are still good, but they are tougher and they are a cheaper product. Okay, so I much prefer small squid tubes versus jumbo squid. All right, so I'm going to give this dish a 3. It was good, but if they had used better squid and maybe put a little dipping sauce on the side, I would have given it a 4. All right, the next dish was wonton soup, Hong Kong style wonton soup. So let's talk about the dumplings. They looked good. They were smooth. They weren't overcooked. They were nice and plump. They were juicy when you bit into them, but they did not have shrimp. And in my opinion, they were lacking just a little bit of flavor, even though they did taste pleasant. And the soup stock was made from, I'm guessing, powdered bouillon, which there's nothing wrong with, by the way. But, at a perfect Chinese restaurant, what they do is they have a giant pot of soup stock. And as they cook every order of wonton or whatever they boil in there, chicken, meats, dumplings, whatever, that soup stock picks up the flavors of like dried shrimp, dried scallops, all the things they're cooking in there. And it just builds this perfect soup. Now, obviously, the soup stock here at Yummy House did not have that incredible complexity, but I didn't expect it to, okay? And it did taste good. So I'm going to give it a 3, okay? It was good. Next up was the house fried rice, and I just want to say something about Chinese fried rice. See how each individual grain of rice is all glossy and separate from the other one? This was done technically perfect. But if you knew how much oil goes into making fried rice, you might not eat fried rice ever again. But this is just a comment about just Chinese fried rice in general. Okay, every Chinese, you have to put a lot of oil in it in order to cook fried rice. That's just the nature of fried rice. Now, this fried rice looked good, smelled good. I would have liked maybe a little more ingredients in there, maybe a little more shrimp, maybe a little more char siu pork, maybe a little more egg, maybe a little more color. And the flavor was just a little bit bland. I mean, it tasted good. It just didn't have enough volume. Like if you turn up the volume on flavor, this thing was at like probably 50% and I wanted it at like 100%. So it was a little bland, but it was pleasant. So I'm going to give this, again, a 3. All right, up next was the orange chicken. And I'll say this, I don't usually eat orange chicken because to me I don't consider it like real Chinese food, My kids and my wife loves it. But I do have to give them kudos because this orange chicken was cooked very well. The chicken was tender, fully cooked. The outside was crispy. And that orange sauce was made with actual oranges. It was thickened perfectly. And it was what it was supposed to be. This was a very good dish. So I'm going to give this orange chicken a 4 because it was very good for what it was. Now this last dish, I'm going to be hard on them about because it happens to be my favorite Cantonese dish. This dish is technically called Cantonese chow mein, but in different restaurants they call it different things. Here they call it pan-fried noodles. Now this, to me, this has to be perfect. And if not, I'm not happy. So perfect Cantonese chow mein is basically pan-fried, crispy egg noodles. And then they put a whole bunch of different ingredients, a whole bunch of different meats, vegetables, black mushrooms on top. And then they put this really glossy, beautiful sauce over it. All right. So for a perfect Cantonese chow mein, the noodles have to be like almost browned and crispy. The ingredients have to be plump, juicy, bright, colorful, a good variety, and the sauce has to be perfectly flavored. The sauce for a good Cantonese chow mein has to be made with a very complex stock. It has to have MSG in there. It has to have white pepper, and it has to be bursting with flavor. So, how did the Yummy House's Cantonese chow mein compared? Well, the noodles were crispy, but not as crispy as I like them. They did have a nice variety of proteins and vegetables on there. I like the baby bok choy. I really like those black mushrooms, one of my favorite things. Chicken was cooked perfectly. Shrimp were good. They had one piece of scallop. But even though the sauce was technically the correct thickness, it just didn't taste like anything. There was no flavor in this dish. It was almost just like they put a slurry with some water and a little bit of salt. And I'm sorry, Yummy House, but you need to add a lot of flavor to this dish. So, I mean, I did eat it, and I ate it all. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna give it a 2, unfortunately, because it was lacking flavor. All right, so in conclusion, what do I have to say about the Yummy House restaurant? And that is that by default, it is, so far as I know, the best Chinese food restaurant in the Tampa Bay area. And that's because I haven't had better Chinese food in the Tampa Bay area. And the Tampa Bay area is not known for having very good Chinese restaurants. We did have a very nice meal here. I enjoyed it. Everybody else enjoyed it. But I'm going to have to overall give it a 3. Which is good. So, Yummy House is a good Chinese restaurant, and I will definitely come again. Is it very good? Is it perfect? No, but and everybody can improve, and maybe next time it'll be even better. Now you'll notice I didn't rate the service. That's because I don't really care about service. All you got to do to service me is bring me food and not bother me, and I'll be happy and I'll tip you. All right. So the service there was totally fine. All right, guys, so come to the Yummy House. Get yourself some good Chinese food. I hope you enjoyed this review, and hopefully I can bring you more reviews of all the other restaurants that I visit.